Stars sparkled overhead, casting shimmering reflections on the metallic surfaces of the human outpost on Titan 7. The air was thick with anticipation as Commander Elira, a member of the Intergalactic Peace Coalition, stepped off her ship. She had traveled countless light years from her home planet, Zenthara, for this diplomatic mission. The humans had always been an enigma to her, terribly complex yet inherently intriguing. "Welcome, Commander Elira," a voice broke through her thoughts. It was Marcus, the human envoy. He was tall and sturdy, with warm brown eyes that seemed to absorb the starlight around them. "I'm glad you made it." "Thank you, Marcus," Elira replied, her voice steady, though her heart raced under the weight of his gaze. "I hope the journey wasn't too cumbersome for my esteemed hosts." "No troubles," he smiled, a hint of mischief in his expression. "I hear your people are navigating the stars with elegance. Hopefully, our humble outpost can meet your expectations." Elira's lips curved into a faint smile. "We will see. How are your preparations for our discussions going? Let's take a walk while the others finalize the settings." "The garden is spectacular this time of year," he said, gesturing ahead. Elira followed him through the expansive halls, all bright and sterile. As they moved outside, the lush landscape unfolded before her, an oasis of green in a sea of metal. Marcus led her to a clearing filled with exotic plants and twinkling lights. The atmosphere was refreshing compared to the sterile confines of the outpost. "What is this place?" Elira asked, inhaling deeply, the sweet aroma swirling around her. "Earth plants. We've tried to replicate features of some of our most cherished environments here," Marcus said, crouching to touch a vibrant flower. "This one blooms only during specific cycles of Titan's moons. It's said to bring good fortune." "Good fortune," she mused, one eyebrow raised. "Does it work?" "Well, I haven't tripped over any rocks since we started cultivating it," he joked, flashing a grin that was infectious. "That has to count for something." Elira chuckled, her guarded exterior cracking just a bit. "You humans do have an interesting sense of humor." As they walked, the conversation turned serious. "So, what are the initial impressions of our world, Commander?" Marcus inquired. "It's rich in potential, traded resources, knowledge exchange. Yet, your people have the tendency to act hastily." "Trust is crucial," Elira replied, her demeanor becoming more solemn. "Fair point. Some of my colleagues are set in their ways, but I assure you many of us want this to work," Marcus said earnestly, meeting her gaze. "We're ready to listen, to learn." "Are you?" Elira challenged slightly, tilting her head. "Can you truly embrace what our worlds bring to the table?" "Yes," he said, intensity sparkling in his eyes. "Even if that means changing perspective. Humans have faced countless challenges. The idea of coexistence isn't a new concept for us. But it takes willingness." Spurred by his determination, Elira shared the essentials of her home world. She spoke of the towering forests that could communicate in ways humans couldn't perceive and creatures that roamed under skies filled with colors they had yet to see. Each word seemed to draw Marcus closer, not just physically, but emotionally. "Do you believe in miracles, Elira?" he asked suddenly, causing her to pause. "Miracles? They are fabrications of hope, often misleading," she responded, surprised by his question. "What if they are more than that? What if they're simply moments of connection like this?" He gestured between them, the sincerity palpable. Elira considered his words. "It's a romantic notion, but I am a soldier. I look for facts, possibilities, not miracles." "But that's where you're missing the point," Marcus argued. "You close yourself off to those connections, thinking you should only rely on logic. Miracles, perhaps, are about opening yourself up." She interrupted. "Opening up can lead to vulnerability, a risk I can't afford." "You're right," he admitted, stepping back slightly. "But isn't there a part of you that wonders what lies beyond that risk?" The tension between them thickened, the air charged. "You're persistent, human," Elira said, her heart pounding. "It's a curious trait. I'll take that as a compliment." He replied, his lips curling into a teasing smile. "I just think there's more to discover." "In this sector? Among humans?" Elira felt challenged as they continued walking. "What do you know of our civilizations? Our traumas? Your species has a chaotic history. We've made our share of mistakes," "Yes," he nodded. "But we've also forged profound relationships with others, learned from past conflicts." Elira raised her eyebrows. "And what makes you think I would trust you with my civilization's secrets? Because you're already here, sharing moments with me?" Marcus said, stopping to face her fully. "That counts for something, doesn't it? It's a step toward collaboration." A flicker of something unidentifiable wove through Elira at his words. She thought about the myriad of humans she had seen in her life, each a piece of a greater puzzle. Yet, in this moment, it was only Marcus she could see, and that realization both thrilled and terrified her. Their dialogue drew them closer together, nourished by shared laughter and meaningful glances. As they reached the end of the garden, sunlight poured across their faces, glowing like the stars above. "If this will work, it must start with the two of us," Marcus said, his tone becoming serious again. "Together," Elira echoed, intrigued. "You suggest we depend on each other before anyone else? I believe that's the essence of understanding." "Finding common ground," he replied, focused. Elira noticed the determination in his eyes. It was something she hadn't encountered before. She felt a stirring thrill run through her, awakening emotions she had long thought buried. "You might be more persuasive than I anticipated, Marcus. Maybe you should let your guard down a little. What's the worst that could happen?" Before she could respond, a commotion in the back of the gathering area drew their attention. A group of human workers caught her eye, and the reality of their surroundings came rushing back. "Duty calls," Elira sighed, an unfamiliar reluctance filling her. "We will need to prepare for the formal meeting." "Let's make the most of it," Marcus said, taking a breath as if he were about to leap into the unknown. As they made their way back, something shifted in Elira's heart. Perhaps, just perhaps, this mission in an alien world was starting to feel like more than mere diplomacy. It was evolving into something far greater. "Let's take that first step together, then," she said softly, her resolve attuned to the possibility ahead. In that moment, she knew they were embarking on a journey that neither of them had truly prepared for. And for the first time, she felt ready to explore what lay beyond those guarded beliefs. Chapter 2. Breaking Barriers. The sun rose slowly over Titan 7, casting a soft golden light across the outpost. Elira stood on the terrace outside her quarters, staring out at the sprawling landscape. The vibrant gardens they had explored yesterday felt far away, overshadowed by the weight of what lay ahead. The treaty discussion with the humans was set to begin, and she felt the familiar nerves bubble to the surface. A gentle knock interrupted her contemplation. "Commander Elira?" Marcus's voice carried warmth through the door. "Come in," she replied, straightening her uniform as she turned to face him. He entered, his smile brightening the room. "I thought I'd find you here, contemplating the mysteries of the universe." "More like contemplating the complexities of human nature," Elira shot back lightly, a smile breaking through her earlier tension. "I'd argue you're not too different from us." "You've got layers, Commander," he said, leaning casually against the doorframe. "Layers?" She raised an eyebrow. "You think I'm an onion?" "Only if it makes you cry," he countered with a chuckle. "I meant that you're multifaceted. And honestly, I'm curious to see which layer will reveal itself during our discussions today." "What a charming approach to diplomacy," she said, unable to suppress a smirk. "Shall I offer to peel myself for you?" "Well, if it makes you more comfortable, we could skip the formalities and just dive into the more intriguing discussions." His eyes gleamed with mischief. "Don't get ahead of yourself, I still have a reputation," Elira replied, though warmth crept into her voice. "Just a friendly suggestion," Marcus said playfully. "We should work together as partners today, not just diplomats. What do you think?" Elira considered his suggestion. "I suppose we can start with a more relaxed approach. It might ease some tension." "Great. I'll meet you in the conference room," he said, excitement bubbling in his tone. "And don't worry, I'll throw in the occasional dad joke to lighten the mood." "Please, abandon the dad jokes," she deadpanned, shaking her head. But as Marcus walked out, Elira couldn't help but grin. Perhaps this was just what she needed. An opportunity to connect more deeply. Later, seated in the conference room, they faced a group of dignitaries and representatives from both sides. The tension in the air was palpable. Formalities weighed heavily like a cloak over everyone involved. "Let's begin," Marcus stated, his tone shifting into a more serious register. "As we move forward with this treaty, I believe transparency is key. We must focus on mutual understanding." Elira felt an encouraging surge. She leaned in, gesturing confidently. "Agreed. Our civilizations can benefit immensely from cooperation and knowledge sharing. For us, the trade of resources means not only materials but also cultural exchange." One of the human representatives, a gray-haired man with glasses, spoke up. "That's fine, but what guarantees do we have that your species will keep its promises?" "Trust must be built." "Trust is earned," Elira replied, her voice steady. Just as we have to earn yours, you must realize we are here genuinely interested in a partnership, not domination. Marcus glanced at her, impressed. Well put. But to earn trust, we need to show vulnerability too. I suggest we set aside time after the formal discussions for personal sharing. Perhaps dinner together where we can talk about ourselves beyond government agendas. The room fell silent for a moment before murmurs of agreement spread through the group. Interesting choice, the human leader mused. But I'll remind you that some of us have distinct reservations. I understand, Elira interjected quickly. Yet if we only see each other through the lens of politics, we will remain distant. What do you say to hosting an informal dinner where we can engage in genuine dialogue? Marcus nodded, his enthusiasm tangible. Exactly. We all have stories that shape us. Let's share them. What does it hurt? After a few moments of contemplation, the gray-haired representative spoke up. Very well. But I expect an open charm from your side too. Open charm is my specialty, Elira replied with a smile, prompting some laughter around the table. The atmosphere grew lighter, and as the meeting wrapped up, Elira felt the shift toward camaraderie. Shall we discuss the arrangements for dinner? Marcus said, his eyes glinting. Lead the way, she agreed, feeling hopeful. Once outside the conference room, indeterminate excitement buzzed through Elira. You did well, she praised Marcus, genuinely impressed. Thank you. But we did it together, he replied. You put everyone at ease with your approach. Was it your relentless charm, she teased, nudging him playfully? Maybe. Or perhaps just the magic of good company, he said, returning the playful nudge. They wandered through the gardens, stopping to admire the exotic flora. You have to show me those trees you spoke about. The ones that communicate, Marcus urged. Delighted, Elira said, pleased that he was so intrigued. However, they are different, they communicate through root systems. Each species has its own song. Trees with songs. That sounds like a fantasy book, he laughed, shaking his head. Why did I not learn about this in school? Because they focused on Earth history, not the wonders of the universe, she replied, love for her home evident in her voice. Marcus looked at her thoughtfully. You're proud of Zenthara, aren't you? Proud to the core, Elira affirmed. But it takes time to share that world with others. I get an impression you understand well. I do. Earth has its wonders and complexities too, but we often overlook them, he admitted. We focus too much on the hustle. Perhaps we can be each other's guides. I'd love that. So, how do we start? He asked, eyes filled with anticipation. Perhaps you should teach me about Earth's curiosities next, Elira suggested. Challenge accepted. I will show you the great mysteries of pizza, obviously the best Earth delicacy, he declared dramatically. Pizza? Elira laughed, intrigued. Is that what all the fuss is about? Marcus grinned widely, clearly enjoying himself. More than you can imagine. And I can bet you'll appreciate the art of crafting it. Pizza has become a form of art, she teased lightly. Only if you want to impress your friends. The secret is the toppings. He replied, nodding with a serious face, then bursting into laughter when Elira joined in. As they reached the end of the garden, an unexpected spark ignited between them. Thank you for making this easier, she said softly, returning to the earlier depths of their conversation. You've taken away much of the fear I held about working together. I believe in this partnership, Elira, Marcus said earnestly, stepping closer. And I believe in you. A sudden wave of connection washed over her. The world around them faded as his sincerity drew out a glimmer of vulnerability within herself. I'm beginning to believe in this too, she confessed, feeling strangely open. The barriers she had cautiously built were starting to dissolve. Good, he replied, his gaze unwavering. Because this is just the beginning. As they turned to leave the garden behind, Elira knew one thing for certain. Today, they began not just a partnership but something more profound, a journey that promised vibrant discoveries both in the universe and within themselves. Chapter 3, The Spark. The evening of the dinner arrived and the conference room flared with lights and laughter, setting the tone for a relaxed atmosphere. Elira stood at the entrance, her heart a riot of anticipation. She had chosen an elegant Zenthara gown that shimmered in hues of deep blue and silver, reflecting the colors of her home planet's twilight sky. Looking good, Commander, Marcus called out, his voice booming over the chatter. He wore a simple yet sleek suit, looking effortlessly dapper. I see you decided to dress up. Couldn't let you show me up, she replied, her lips twisting into a smirk. I had to bring my A game. Fair enough. I believe you've stead, he said with admiration. Shall we greet our guests? Elira nodded, and together they stepped into the room where a diverse group of human representatives awaited. Each person was engaged in pleasant conversation, adding layers of color to the evening's mood. "Welcome everyone," Marcus projected, gathering their attention. "Tonight is not just about treaties, it's about building connections. Let's share stories and laughter while we break bread." The crowd responded with enthusiastic murmurs and smiles, easing into the evening with a casual ambience that encouraged openness. They moved to the long banquet table adorned with a variety of dishes from both civilizations, flavors that mixed Earth and Zenthera into a fusion feast. "Please serve yourself," Elira said, gesturing to the spread. "I did bring some traditional Zenthera dishes. You might find them interesting." "Interesting how," a curious woman interjected, examining the vibrant colors of the Zenthera delicacies that surfaced in bowls. "Let's say they have potency," Elira answered, a sly smile dancing across her lips. "But I assure you, your stomach will thank you afterward." "Potency? Now I'm intrigued. Can we expect explosions?" Marcus called out, pretending to look worried, which earned him laughter from the crowd. "Relax. I'll refrain from using any chemical ingredients tonight," she joked. "All safe for human consumption." As they laughed together, the friendly banter breathed life into the room. Marcus grabbed a plate and started loading it with a seemingly endless variety of dishes. "You know," he said, overhearing a conversation from the table nearby, "the key to a good meal is balance. The flavors should complement, not overshadow each other." "Why do you think Earth's food culture is so diverse?" Elira asked, savoring his appreciation for culinary craft. "A dish is not merely a meal. It tells a story." "Exactly," he replied, nodding vigorously. "Every ingredient has a purpose, a history. It's about heart as much as it's about taste." "Maybe you'll have to teach me how to cook an Earth dish someday," Elira suggested, intrigued by the idea. Marcus stopped, a thoughtful expression crossing his features. "Why not tonight? I mean, I could run through a simple recipe, but we'd need a kitchen." Elira grinned, the idea sparking excitement. "I could show you how to make a traditional Zenthera dish in return. But we will need a kitchen-ish." "I'll arrange it," he said, the enthusiasm coloring his voice. "Let's make this a collaborative effort. Cooking works wonders for team building." "Agreed, let's make it a fun challenge," Elira replied, her heart racing. After dinner, laughter echoed as they transitioned into a casual setting with an atmosphere like a celebratory gathering. Marcus maneuvered through small talk, introducing Elira to various guests who eagerly engaged her with questions about Zenthera. "Your planet sounds extraordinary," an older man commented. "But how do you manage communication among your diverse cultures?" With understanding and respect, Elira responded, her confidence growing with the encouraging interest. "We celebrate our differences as much as our similarities. There's beauty in diversity." As the evening progressed, Elira felt herself melting into the warmth of human company. Eventually, Marcus reappeared and gestured toward the door. "Shall we break into our cooking session?" "I thought you'd never ask," Elira replied, her excitement renewed. They made their way to a small, well-equipped kitchen. Marcus set out the ingredients they had gathered, fresh vegetables, spices, some unfamiliar items Elira had brought along. "First things first," he said, looking at her with determination. "What are we making?" "Sharmila," Elira said, selecting a few vibrant ingredients. "It's a dish that showcases our hearty vegetables and spices. It's easy to prepare, but the flavor will impress." "Let's get started then," Marcus replied, rolling up his sleeves. Elira showed him how to chop the vegetables, instructing him on the proper techniques. "Just like that. But be careful with your fingers. We don't need any accidents." Marcus laughed, focusing intently. "I promise. I'm a professional at not losing digits." Finn. People together, a chance to connect. "I can relate to that. Our meals are often communal, a chance for families and friends to bond," Elira replied. "Do you miss home?" he asked quietly, his tone shifting to something deeper. "All the time," she confessed. "But I've learned to embrace new experiences, and this," she gestured around the kitchen, "this is refreshing. You make it easier to adapt." "We're both learning new things," Marcus said, his voice softening. "And at this moment, I think we're creating something special." Their shoulders brushed as they moved around the small kitchen, an unspoken connection sparking in the air. The cooking became a rhythmic dance, with laughter and friendly banter replacing any lingering tension. "Now for the seasoning," Elira instructed, watching as he sprinkled herbs into the mix. "Did I put in too much?" he asked, feigning worry, which made Elira laugh. "It's about your taste. No measure is too much when it comes to flavor." As they mixed the ingredients, a comfortable silence settled between them. Elira's heart raced as she felt his gaze lingering on her. Cooking with you feels like something. Feels like what? Marcus urged, his voice low, encouraging her to express her thoughts. I don't know, she admitted, swallowing her nerves. It's easy. Easy is good, Marcus replied, stepping a little closer. It means we're connecting. Elira met his gaze, feeling the tension shift, igniting a spark that seemed to crackle in the air between them. Can we do this together more often? He asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Yes, she said, determination setting in. I'd like that. He took a step closer, their eyes locked, and the world around them faded. In that moment, the connection solidified. The warmth of understanding shrouded them, encapsulated in shared laughter and newfound sincerity. I think we've done a splendid job with dinner, he murmured, shifting his gaze from her eyes to the finished dish. It's only the beginning, she agreed. As they tasted their creation, their senses lit up with robust flavors. It's perfect, Marcus declared, excitement bubbling in his voice. We really outdid ourselves. Indeed we did, Elira replied, her heart full. In that small kitchen, amidst scents and spices, they realized they had forged not just a meal but a deeper bond, one that promised more challenges, laughter, and connections unfolding ahead. As the night deepened, Elira felt a captivating sense of possibility bloom within her, lighting the path toward shared dreams and mutual understanding. Chapter 4. The Confession. The days following the dinner passed in a haze of laughter and camaraderie as Elira and Marcus continued to deepen their bond. Each encounter brought new layers of understanding, and their collaborative efforts in the conference room slowly morphed into shared moments of joy away from the official setting. On this particular day, a gray, misty cloud hung over Titan 7, a stark contrast to their usual surroundings. Elira sat at the circular table in the conference room, poring over trade agreements while Marcus thumbed through reports nearby. Do you think this deal will really work out? Elira asked, looking up from her notes. The output we require is substantial. It will if everyone stays committed, he replied, glancing over at her. But we can't underestimate how important collaboration is. Our two cultures need to remember that our strengths lie in unity, not competition. Easier said than done. Some in my government see human practices as primitive, Elira admitted, pushing a strand of hair behind her ear. It frustrates me. People fear what they don't understand, Marcus replied, his expression thoughtful. Sometimes it's about more than just business, it's about education and perspective. Have there been any positive experiences you can share that might help sway opinions? Elira sighed, leaning back in her chair. Just yesterday, I had lunch with a few of the council members. I tried to talk about our cooperation, but they brought up concerns over your people's past. This is where we need to shift the narrative, Marcus said earnestly. What if we organize a joint presentation? Share our successes together? Show them what we can achieve as allies? That could work, Elira replied, a flicker of excitement igniting within her. But convincing them to accept it will take time. We have time, Marcus reassured her, his voice steady. We just need to keep working at it. We have a solid foundation. Let's build on that. Elira smiled, grateful for his unwavering support. You really believe in this, don't you? Absolutely. I believe in you, he said, his gaze unwavering and sincere. Just then, the lights flickered, cutting through the tension. What in the galaxy was that? Elira asked, eyebrows raised. Probably a power surge, Marcus replied, standing up and heading toward the window. No worries, Titan's infrastructure is pretty sturdy. Still, it might be good to check in with maintenance, Elira said, getting up to join him. Let's not overlook anything that could cause issues. As they peered into the misty landscape outside, a sudden realization struck Elira. This place is not so different from home, she said, her voice thoughtful. We also have unpredictable energy surges during our storms. Tell me more about Zenthera, Marcus encouraged, his eyes brightening at the change in topic. Well, we have climate shifts that can be quite dramatic. Our thunderstorms produce vibrant colors across the skies, and the rain sounds like music as it hits the ground, she explained, warmth spreading within her. Some say when you listen closely, you can hear the trees whispering. Whispering trees. Now that sounds enchanting. He turned to her, his expression genuinely intrigued. What else? Elira bit her lip, feeling emboldened. We have festivals where people come together under auroras that dance across the night sky. There's food, music, and storytelling. It's pure magic. I miss those times, those connections. Then let's make our own festival here, Marcus exclaimed, enthusiasm radiating from him. We could invite everyone, your people ours. The idea hung in the air between them, a glimmer of possibility. Could we really do that? Why not? It would bridge the gap, show both cultures how we can celebrate together, highlighting our strengths, our joys, he encouraged, excitement bubbling over. I like the sound of that, she said, her heart racing. But it will take considerable planning. Then we get started, he stated matter-of-factly. We can brainstorm over lunch. What about the power issues, she asked, gesturing toward the flickering lights. They'll resolve, let's focus on the fun stuff, he replied, dismissively waving his hand. We can pull a team together later to address maintenance issues. Right? Let's do it, Elira said, newly invigorated. As they walked out of the conference room, many representatives were beginning to mingle in the corridor. Perfect timing, Marcus said brightly. Now who's up for food? Snacks always help with brainstorming, right? Count me in, Elira replied, following him eagerly. Their informal gatherings quickly turned into a routine, with colleagues joining them for lunch, snacks, and laughter, fostering an environment laden with curiosity and budding friendship. As they set out the food, Elira turned to Marcus, feeling this time was different. Today feels more special, she noted as they settled in a cozy nook within the common area. I agree, Marcus replied. There's an energy buzzing around. I think it's because we're opening our worlds to one another. Could it be that? I'm actually enjoying this partnership. Elira admitted, the words spilling out unexpectedly. Enjoying it? Or is it something more? He teased lightly, nudging her gently. More, she echoed. You think there's potential beyond a professional relationship? I think there's something between us, he said, his tone shifting to more serious territory. You've changed how I see the universe and my life, too. Elira's heart raced. Marcus, But before she could finish, he interrupted, let me say this, I find you captivating. I admire your strength, wisdom, and perspective. It's refreshing. Thank you, she whispered, taken aback by his sincerity. I mean it, he continued, his eyes steady on hers. As we've been working side by side, I've realized how much I want to explore this connection. Connection? She asked, searching his gaze for clarity. Connection, he affirmed. This growing bond. It's undeniable. I feel it each time we're together. Elira opened her mouth to respond, but words caught in her throat. You're right. I feel it too. But what does it mean for us? For our people? It means we take it one step at a time, he said, locking eyes with her. I don't want to rush anything, but I want you to know you're more than a partner to me. Whatever happens, I'm here. Her heart swelled as the vulnerability closed the distance between them. That means everything to me, Marcus. He leaned closer, his breath just a whisper away. Can we promise to keep this honesty, no matter how chaotic the outside world gets? Yes, she replied, heart racing. Just then, a sudden loud crash startled them. A group of representatives in the corridor erupted into laughter. What was that? Marcus chuckled, breaking the moment, trying to lighten the air. I don't want to know, Elira replied, chuckling as well. But I think we just created a distraction for them. They shared a light laugh, the moment shifting back to camaraderie. But the unspoken connection lingered. Back to our festival planning, then? Marcus suggested, his eyes dancing with mischief. Absolutely. Let's bring our worlds together, piece by piece, Elira said, feeling a warmth bloom in her chest. Hand in hand, they stepped back into the mingling crowd. Together they would embrace the joy of uncertainty, finding a way to blend their possibilities in this vast universe, all while cherishing the undeniable spark that had ignited between them. Chapter 5. A New Dawn. As preparations for the festival began, excitement bubbling through the air, Elira and Marcus quickly found themselves swept into the whirlwind of planning. Their days grew busier, but each moment only drew them closer together. With vibrant ideas flying back and forth, they transformed a simple gathering into an event filled with magic and cultural exchange. Okay, we need a theme, Elira announced one morning, tapping her pen against a notepad in the conference room. Something that embodies both our worlds. Let's brainstorm, Marcus replied, thumbing through a list of ideas. How about unity in diversity? It rings true for both of us. Elira nodded thoughtfully. I like it. It speaks to the essence of what we're trying to achieve. Perfect. Now for activities. Marcus's eyes gleamed with enthusiasm. We could have cooking demonstrations, storytelling sessions, and music from both cultures. Alira's heart soared at the thought. Yes. We can showcase Zenthra's traditional dances alongside human music. It'll be a celebration of who we are. We'll need a stage for performances, Marcus mused, tapping on his tablet. And don't forget about decorations. What colors do you think represent Zenthra? Earth tones combined with the vibrant colors of our auroras could work well, Alira suggested. We could use bioluminescent plants to illuminate the area. Bioluminescent plants? Marcus raised an eyebrow, intrigued. Now I'm doubly excited. I can already imagine the atmosphere. As they discussed details, it became clear that creativity thrived in their partnership. They sketched out plans on sheets of paper, tossing new ideas back and forth, laughing more with each passing minute. How about we set up a culture corner? Marcus proposed. We can have displays featuring Zenthra crafts alongside Earth artifacts. Great idea. It would be engaging for everyone, Alira responded, her smile wide. Inspired, they spent hours drafting lists of potential attendees, gathering materials, and sending out invitations. The thrill of collaboration infused everything, making even the mundane aspects of planning enjoyable. As the day of the festival approached, the buzz of excitement filled the outpost. Humans and Zentharians were working side by side, setting up tents, arranging displays, and testing sound equipment. You all set? Marcus asked as they stepped outside into the cool evening air. Definitely nervous, but mostly excited, Alira confessed, her palms slightly sweaty. It's a lot of pressure, but I trust it'll be amazing. You've put so much effort into this. Trust the process, he assured her, bumping her shoulder playfully. Plus, I'll be right here with you. Thank you, Marcus. I genuinely appreciate you influencing my confidence. As the sun dipped low on the horizon, casting a golden hue over Titan 7, Alira felt a rush of hope. All their planning, all their teamwork, it felt monumental. The festival day finally arrived, filled with vibrant colors, lively music, and laughter. Set under the canopies of stars, Alira stood at the entrance, taking it all in with wide eyes. Look at all the people, she exclaimed, her heart racing as she saw a mix of humans and Zentharians entering the festival grounds. Welcome to our glorious celebration. Marcus raised his arms theatrically, and a few attendees laughed. You're a real showman, aren't you? Alira teased as she stepped beside him. Only when the occasion calls for it, he replied, beaming. Now, what's our first activity? A human couple approached, waving enthusiastically. Is this where the cooking demo is taking place? The woman asked. Absolutely. Alira beamed back. We're excited to show you the dishes we've prepared. As the couple chatted excitedly, Alira turned to Marcus, her voice dropped to a softer tone. I can't believe everyone came. It feels like our hard work is paying off. The energy is contagious. We're breaking barriers right here, he affirmed. Over the next few hours, attendees roamed between booths, sampling the culinary delights. The aroma of zesty Zenthra spices mingled delightfully with the familiar sense of Earth cuisine. Ward of Zenthra volunteers showcased their crafts, weaving intricate patterns and sharing skills while human musicians entertained everyone. Hey, come check this out. Marcus called, waving her over to a crowd gathering near one of the booths. As Alira approached, she found a group of attendees. A Zenthra dancer in traditional attire was demonstrating the graceful movements of their dance. The crowd clapped in rhythm and excitement buzzed in the air. This is amazing, Alira breathed, watching the dancer. It's so beautiful when cultures intermingle. Almost as beautiful as you, Marcus said lightly but with an undertone of sincerity. Her heart skipped a beat. Flattery will get you everywhere, you know? Good to know, I'll keep that up, he replied, grinning. As the day flowed on, Alira found herself losing track of time, swept up in the joy surrounding her. Want to try dancing? Marcus suggested, a twinkle in his eye. Me? Dance in front of all these people? Alira laughed, a blush creeping into her cheeks. That's a bold suggestion. Hey, we've been promoting unity. Join me for a moment. He extended his hand with a reassuring smile. After hesitating for a split second, Alira took his hand, the warmth of his grip sending a flutter through her. They stepped into the small circle formed by onlookers. Just follow my lead, he assured her as the music picked up. To her surprise, Alira found herself enjoying it. As they moved together, she felt free, the rhythm guiding her like the winds in Zenthra. With each step, worries melted away until all that remained were laughter and playful glances shared between them. That's it. You're a natural. Marcus cheered as they spun and twirled. Okay. You're good at this, she admitted, breathless from laughter. Now you see why it's a staple on Earth? he asked, his tone light, but warmth lingered in his eyes. The moment felt electric between them, a connection that transcended dialogue and culture. Elira couldn't help but grin. Perhaps we should dance more often. It has its perks. I'd like that, he said, glancing at her with an intensity that stopped her heart for just a moment. Suddenly, the crowd erupted in applause as the dance concluded. They bowed, still holding hands, the energy between them palpable. Let's get some water, Marcus suggested, still breathless from dancing. As they stepped away from the captivated crowd, Marcus looked at her, curiosity painted on his face. You know, it's days like this that make everything worthwhile. It really is, Elira agreed softly. I never thought we could bring our worlds together like this. We did. We're proving that differences can come together beautifully, he replied, thoughtfully. A hint of vulnerability fluttered in the space between them. Do you think we can keep this going? Whatever this is. Marcus met her gaze, earnestness deep in his eyes. I want to explore it, Elira. I'm committed to seeing where this connection leads us. A wave of warmth washed over her. So am I. I want to nurture this, to venture into the unknown together. You're already my partner in this journey, he said, his hands still holding hers. As they arrived at the refreshment station, the festival buzzed around them, a whirlwind of life and laughter. After today, we're unstoppable, Elira said, feeling the exhilaration of possibility growing within her. Exactly. We can shape the future, Marcus replied with a grin. With hearts open and hands intertwined, they turned back toward the vibrant scene of the festival. Together, they were ready to embrace whatever came next, united in their shared journey and the bond that had blossomed between them.